Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, while I have this like full beat look going on, I was like, I have to make use of this because I never do this. I decided to make a knitting podcast, which a lot of creators I really enjoy do this, and I want to be a part of it, and I love to yap. And, I'm kind of serving right now, so I have to like make good use of it. Before I get into, I'll go and start knitting. Pause, Emma from the future here. Make sure you grab your project to work on while I yap, because this is the exact type of video that I love to watch while I work. So grab a snack, grab a water, maybe hydrate every couple minutes, and let's get to work, people. So I still don't have a microphone. I'm using my phone. I'm going to put you right here. That's what we're doing. Don't question it. First of all, I suppose I'll start off talking about what I'm wearing, because in case you can't tell, I made it. This is a pattern that I free-handed and then went back and wrote a pattern for, and I'm calling it the Sierra Bolero. This is oh man, I did not, people talk about how hard it is to talk and work on these videos, and I was like, oh, I can do that. It's not as easy as I thought, I'll say that. Anyways, let me count 1, 2. Anyways, I was watching Love Island the other night, and one of the islanders named Sierra was wearing a really gorgeous bolero with pearls in it. And my immediate thought was not where can I buy that, but I can make that, and I should. So without even trying to look up where it came from or anything like that, I not immediately, the next day I went to Michael's and I bought pearls, and I have a bunch of Karen cotton cakes in the color High Tide, which, by the way, is the most perfect yarn color name for this project, because this is so beachy. But I have a bunch of it for what I'm working on, which I'll get to in a second. But I went and got pearls, and then I just kind of started freestyling it. I was able to knock it out in a couple hours over the course of 2 days, and I posted a TikTok about it. And as of right now, about 24 hours later, the TikTok has almost 100,000 views, which is a lot for me. I did post 2 TikToks in 2019 that got 1 million views each for weird reasons. I don't even really understand why, but in my new era of TikTok creation and doing crochet stuff, it's new for me. So it's pretty cool. It's really gratifying to make something and have other people appreciate it. And I do think that a lot of me just kind of posting into the void and being comfortable with knowing that people probably won't see it has really paid off, I guess. Sorry, I have to count again. 1, 2. And I'm just getting the sweetest comments on it. I feel very grateful. I was sort of half planning on making a pattern, but some of my math wasn't working out, so I was kind of thinking I wouldn't do it, but so many people were interested that I just sat down and figured it out. It literally was not that hard for me to figure out. I was just I don't know, which is my problem sometimes. I really need to work on that. I just kind of get paralyzed by having to figure things out, and then get to a point where I don't do things. But it's kind of a new, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I'm just in this new phase of my life where I'm I'm pretty careless about what I'm doing in terms of I don't care if people I know see me making TikToks and make fun of me or what. That's my worst case scenario thought. I don't think anyone's making fun of me. But these are just the things I think about and what's kind of held me back before. But now I'm just kind of putting myself out there and doing what I love, which is knitting and crocheting and you know, making a little bit of money off of it right now. Because if you're curious, the bunny bag that was in 2 videos ago, the pattern I made, I've sold almost 40 of them now, which is a lot in this short period of time. But I really do think that like my TikToks about it are kind of what helped achieve that. So anyways, that was really long-winded. I don't even know, why did I start this story? I decided to make the pattern for the bolero that I'm wearing. And it's been up for a couple hours. I think I've sold like 5 at this point, which again, I feel like in a short amount of time is really impressive. And I'm just really, really very grateful that I can make things and share them and that people like them. So I don't know what's next in terms of like patterns to write or anything, although I'll get into what I'm working on because it might be a pattern. But just a little moment for the bolero, which it looks like my sleeves are short right now because I'm holding my arms up, but it's full length. It's really cute and I feel very cute and like, yeah, I can't remember. Well, I said that it's based on one that a girl on Love Island was wearing. So she has like this specific hairstyle she does a lot, so I recreated it. And then I have a bunch of like nail pearls that I bought for my wedding because I wanted to have pearls on my nails. And I have a ton left, so I just took some lash glue and glued them to my face, which they're still intact, so that's good. Yeah, so that's the bolero that I'm wearing. If you're interested in making one for yourself, the pattern, of course, is on my Etsy, and I'll link it down below too. Now, what I'm currently knitting, first of all, before I talk about the thing I'm knitting, I forgot to do my increase. I went out of town this past weekend to visit my brother and his wife and my niece, and they live like way out of town. Like, it is not feasible for me to drive there that often. So they have a yarn store near their house that I love, that I've been to a couple times before, but it's been probably like 2 years since I've been. I didn't really have anything in mind, but what I will say is that I've been eyeballing the ChowGoo needles. I have been. And I have not pulled the trigger because I have a fairly decent set of wooden needles. I don't have any problems with them, but my rationale for buying these was that I used to use like stainless steel, non-ergonomic crochet hooks, and then I started getting Clover Amours, and then I was like, oh my god, like I had no idea that things could be this enjoyable when it comes to like knitting. Everything was just like so smooth, and I was like, I can't believe I didn't get these sooner. So my thought was like, well, I'm just using these basic knitting needles right now, and maybe there's like a Clover, the ChowGoos are going to be like my Clover Amour, where I try it and I'm like, oh, I didn't know things could be this nice. I've just been using like the cheapest option available to me, but like, what if I balled out a little bit? I had only ever planned to buy them online, which I think would have been cheaper, but I just saw them in the store, and it's not the full set, but it's the small set, which is like, I hardly ever knit anything above a 5mm because that's the highest it goes to. But I just went for it, and the cool thing is that the case is still the full case, so I can just buy the larger needles as I need them and still have a spot for them in my little case, even though everyone talks about how ugly the case is, but it's better than what I have now. It's literally like a plastic case that the flap is almost fully disconnected from. So anyways, I got the ChowGoo needles, all that to say. So that's the only reason why I'm talking about the yarn store currently, other than I will add, I think I'm going to talk some more in a minute about some scrap stuff that I'm working on. And this particular yarn store sells little balls of scraps for $1 each. So I bought, I think like 5 of those. So yeah, what I'm currently knitting, now that I've done almost a full row and haven't told you yet, I will insert a better picture, but this is the Karen Cotton Cakes in High Tide, the same thing that this is made out of, but this is just knit. I went to Anthropologie recently and saw this dress. I'll also put a screenshot of it up. This dress is beautiful. I love the shape. It has little tomato charms on the neckline. It is $160, and I'm unemployed and selling a couple patterns here and there. I can't, buy a $160 dress. So I thought about it and I was like, you know what, I think I can make this. So that's what I'm trying to do. The reason I say that it may or may not be a pattern is because the foundation of what I've started is based on a petite knit pattern, which is the Amelie top. So I'm either going to do like a free guide or have to like rewrite some parts and make this again in order to make it 100% my own, but we'll see. At any rate, I bought the Amelie pattern a couple months ago because I had some yarn that I wanted to make like a basic t-shirt out of. I liked that pattern at the time, and then I don't know where it comes from. I just have this like gene or something that like I think that it's okay if my yarn and my needles don't match what the pattern calls for, and that it'll still work out fine. It has worked out fine for me before. When I made my novice cardigan chunky by Petite Knit, my yarn was actually 2 sizes smaller, so I just went down by 2 needles sizes and went up to like garment sizes, and it worked out perfectly. I don't think that logic works like any other time, but so I think that's kind of what fuels my delusions when I want to make a yarn work for a pattern it's not going to work for. So yeah, I basically made like the yoke and then I tried it on, and the neckline was way too wide for what the shirt was supposed to be, 1, and 2, what I was picturing. So I ended up frogging it and just never did anything with the pattern. So when I was thinking about this dress, like it needs to have a really wide neckline because if you can tell in the picture, it's like the ties on the front like cinch the neckline. So I needed a larger than usual neckline so that there's something to cinch. So I went back to this Amelie pattern because it's what came to mind when I'm like, what's going to give me a huge neckline? And this yarn is even bigger than the original one I tried to make it with. So instead of using, I think it's like 3mm needles, I'm using 4.5 because that's what my yarn calls for. So I went and made the same size I tried to make when I was making the t-shirt, and then I kind of realized like, well, hold on, I need it to be even bigger, because that was just kind of like inconveniently large, but I need it to be like will not stay on my shoulders large so that it scrunches. So I frogged it after getting quite a ways through it, and here we are. I have done the neckline, the armpits, and now I'm literally just adding the skirt and just kind of doing some increases that I'm hoping work out that I have not tested or seen before. I'm filming a video for this on the side, so hopefully at some point you will be able to see through my channel the finished dress, and I'll talk a little bit more about the design process and all of that. But that's what I'm currently working on. I know it's going to take me a while to get this skirt full. Luckily, it is a mini dress, and the Anthropologie on their website has the length that all sizes of the dress are, so I'm just shooting for that. Which, another thing is that I'm really tall. I'm 5'10", so mini dresses don't usually work for me because I have long legs. So what's nice about recreating it is that I'm in control of how short it is and all that good stuff. So that's what I'm knitting. I think next I'd like to talk about my whips. Sorry I didn't give you like an agenda before I started this video, but whips next. So there's this, obviously. Over on TikTok, as you saw, I did roll for sweater, or not as you saw necessarily, but my last video is about that. I decided once that series was over, I was feeling very, sad that it was over, wanted to keep that momentum going, and like I loved having TikToks to make. So I took my bunny bag pattern that I just designed, and I'm making a scrap version of that with the same concept of rolling for every single row. It's just crochet this time, which has been really interesting at how much more yarn crochet eats. Like, we all knew this. I knew this too, but like I'm blowing through my scrap stash now that I'm crocheting. But I think I want to do one more scrap project. I haven't decided yet, but I think it'll probably end up being knit. But I don't have one picked out. The bag's not quite done yet. And I also think I should take a little break before I start doing it again, because I'm posting TikToks every day. So like I'm waking up in the morning, filming the episode and then posting it. And then only when I have time, I can film ahead and, not have to post it right away. But I still think I'd like a little break at some point. So we'll see. But that's what I'm working on now. If you're interested in seeing any part of that, there's a series on my TikTok. I think I'm on part like 14 maybe. And there won't be very much more because obviously a crochet bag goes a lot faster than a knit sweater. So, yeah, that's kind of why I bring up scraps. So I, bought those scraps from that yarn store. But before that, there is a yarn store a little bit closer to me, still quite out of the way, but I can make it work every once in a while. It's called One More Row. It's in Woodstock, Georgia. And they have a humongous basket of free scraps. Yeah, I saw that and my heart exploded. I just am obsessed with that idea. I think it's really awesome. And the owner was there when I was looking through it, and she's like, yeah, we have this in case, if someone's making amigurumi and they need black for the eyes but don't want to buy a whole thing, they can just find some in here, which is really cool. I love the community building. They have a huge table in the middle where like there's just a bunch of ladies sitting there working on their projects. So I was like very skeptical about taking stuff, because when she said that, I was like, well, I don't want to just take this to like, make my scrap projects with. But I took a couple things and she's like, no, please take more. Like, these have been here so long, and like, there'll be more the next time you come in. So I tried to take yarn that was like either in really small quantities or was like a loud color that I don't think someone's going to be like specifically searching for. So I didn't take any white or black or anything, but I got quite a lot. And I will say 2 of the little donuts I got are Lang yarn. One is Lino and one is Noel, I believe, are the Lino. They were almost full. Like, they're definitely used, but like one of them is like a $10 donut. The other one's like a $20 donut. So I kind of got like $30 worth of yarn for free. And it's going to go into a scrap project and look really gorgeous and be a joy to work with. And all the other stuff, I don't know what it is, and that's fine. Even though a big part of my role for whatever projects is like keeping a spreadsheet of the data and tracking like the fiber content and all that. I can't do that obviously for these fibers, but I'm just glad to like be contributing to waste reduction, I guess. Not having to buy more yarn and like making cute projects in the process. So yeah, a couple of those scraps have already been worked into the bag. It's looking really cute. I can't wait to see it all done, and hopefully you'll see it on this channel sometime soon, because I genuinely think I'll finish it like before this weekend is over. It's Wednesday now, so that's that. Other things that are in my whip drawer are the Frill Seeker top that I started a while ago. I don't think I'm going to finish it, honestly. I think I just need to take it off the cable. It is a really adorable pattern. Like, I'm in love with it, but the problem is that you start from the bottom where the frill is, and you have to knit and purl because it's a cardigan, so it's not in the round. You have to knit and purl like 500 stitches, for my size at least. And to me, that's just really like not worth it. It's not going to happen. And I knit continental, so like purls are not that slow or that difficult for me, but it's just, you know, not as easy as knitting. So I think that one might have to not happen unless I decide to just like make it in garter stitch instead. I would do that maybe. Other than that, in my whip drawer, I have a hexagon cardigan that I started like a year ago, that I'll finish at some point, but I don't feel like, you know, working on an eyelash yarn sweater at the moment. Maybe later this year. And I have scrap squares, so feel free to call me the scrap queen. I'm honestly obsessed with scrap projects. It's really satisfying for me to just like watch my stash go down and like see the cool color combinations I can make that you wouldn't traditionally think of, because like I'm, you know, using different weights, different fibers, all that good stuff. But I need to make about double of what I have. I'll put in a picture. But anytime I finish a project and have, you know, like, I can't talk about it because I literally will spend the next 3 hours talking to you about it. I have figured out how to spin yarn out of scraps. It's a little bit of help from YouTube on like how to spin actual fibers, but also just me kind of like making things up. So I've figured out how to spin scraps. So if it's a really short scrap, it goes into that pile of stuff that will get spun. But if it's longer and I can still work with it, then I will knit it in, or crochet it into one of these scrap squares. So I plan to turn that into a blanket because I've only ever made one blanket, and me and my husband fight over it every time we go to watch TV. It's like, who gets the cozy blanket? So that won't be done anytime soon, I don't think. It's just dependent on my production of scraps, I guess, so to speak. So the only other thing in my scrap drawer or my whip drawer is, I don't want to divulge too much information on it because one, I don't think I'll finish it for a long time because it's not season appropriate, and I need it for an event I'm going to in November. So it's June. There's no rush on it. I should be working on things I can wear right now, like this cotton dress. So it's kind of off to the wayside. I'm very, very excited about it, and I'm also filming a video about it that you will hopefully see whenever that gets done. But it's a sweater. It's just, I'm going to do intarsia for not the first time. You can probably see I have a swatch on my pegboard behind me of like a bow graph that I found, but I've never like made a finished piece with intarsia, so I'm going to try it out with a particular character's face on it. That's all I'll say for now. I think it's gonna be really good. I'm really pumped. So those are my whips and my long-winded scrap discussion. I had grand plans of brushing out all my scraps and knitting a jacket for this upcoming cold season. I hoped to have it casted on by September. I have not even hardly touched my scraps, and the way that I'm just generating like double now that I'm doing all these scrap projects, which is fine. Like I'm hanging on to all of it, but it's going to take a really long time to brush it all out. So I don't know if that's going to happen this year. Maybe it'll be like the first thing I do in the new year. I think that'll be a cool project and just a fun way to kind of show people like what to do with scraps. The way that I so badly want to make a P.O. box and just have people mail me their scraps and then I can do stuff with it. Like, it's kind of become this obsession at this point, like how badly I'm trying to just find the teeniest bits and bobs of yarn. Like, I want it all, and I want to make a million scrap projects with it. So, if you ever find yourself needing to get rid of scraps, either send them to me or tell me what Goodwill you're dropping them off at, and I'll be there. Like, I will go buy them. But anyways, I really only got through like 1.5 rows on this while I've been talking. but I'll kind of show you the progress. It's going to look a little weird because I don't want it to fall off the needles. I don't have any stoppers, but here we go. Ginormous neckline. It's a good thing though, so that we can scrunch it. I was honestly worried that this yarn was going to give like, it's a boy, because that's why I haven't used it up to this point. I've literally had it since like 2023. I haven't used it for that reason. I was worried that it was giving nursery or baby blanket, but actually seeing it worked up knit, I'm really, really enjoying it. Because the first time I tried to use this, I will say, was my first time trying Tunisian crochet. And I was making the knot knit sweater by, I don't remember their name. I'll put it on screen. They have a bunch of patterns though. Here's the thing. I actually yarn under when I crochet instead of yarn over. And that's just like how I taught myself. And I didn't realize until that project that it's kind of a problem only for Tunisian crochet, because my stitches are twisted when I do Tunisian, because I'm picking up the yarn from the wrong side. Which, to put it into knitting terms, if you don't knit, it's like twisted rib basically, which is how I started out knitting, by the way. My first sweater, all the stitches are twisted. And I can't unteach myself how to crochet that way after all this time. And it really only affects Tunisian crochet. And it actually looks really good for amigurumi. That's how you get like cleaner stitches apparently. And I'm like, oh, well, that's good. If I ever decide to make ami, which I don't think I ever will, but if I ever did, it would look clean, apparently. So yeah, I tried to make a Tunisian crochet sweater with this yarn. It is a self-striping yarn, so it's not like a gradient. It just kind of like hard goes to the next color, which I don't mind. But with Tunisian, you have all this extra fabric in the back, and that's where all the color changes were happening. So it was more of like a hard stripe. So it just was kind of looking weird for that reason. And then also all the stitches were twisted. So I did frog that recently, unfortunately. But luckily, I now get to make this. And this is one cake plus a little bit of a second. I have a whole third one. And then what's left of the fourth one after I made this. So I think that should be enough because I'm not increasing that often. So it's not going to get much worse. But I think I will stop yapping now. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you're working on, and if you have any questions about what I'm working on, or if you want to talk scraps, if you just want to kiki in the comments, like, let's do it. Thank you for watching. I hope you got to get some good work done on your project during this video. I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is. I hope you stay safe, and I hope you enjoy your summer, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!